All
right, excuse me. That fire was crazy, okay? It should never happen.
Do we have a verdict of what was the cause of the fire?
I have not seen,
It's been several days. I spoke to every firefighter and they said it'll be public. When is it going to be public?
it's the state fire marshal has to post it. That's who investigated
And he's
the
still
fire.
investigating.
I wasn't part of that.
Okay,
I'm not-
because we're coming up on a week tomorrow.
I would like Mr. Sachs to give you the background, the whole hydrant system. And this is way before me. I mean, when the place was built.
First of all, I am sorry for everybody with the fire. I'm also a volunteer firefighter. I live in Upper Salford Township. I would have been at that fire also, except I was helping some neighbors that got flooded and didn't have my pager with me. So I apologize for not being there to assist. But first of all, everybody keep in mind that every firefighter in this area is all volunteer. They give their time, they risk their lives for it. But for the background on the hydrants, when the development was put together, the system was designed for 500 gallon per minute hydrants. The hydrants should be able to do 500 gallons per minute. The equipment is all functioning, the pumps are functioning. One of the issues was a question related to the size of the line run from the mains to the hydrant back when they were put in, but everything should be satisfactory for 500 gallons per minute. Currently, with townhouses and things, they require more like 1,000 gallons per minute. And that's unfortunately with what the developer did back at that point. And one of the things that we've discussed is when that development was built, the water tank that's down next to the wastewater treatment plant should have been at the top of the hill. There should have been 2 or 3 less townhouses and the water tank should have been at the top of the hill, because that's what it needs for gravity feed and getting better flow and maintaining just even pressure for all your homes for your drinking water.
Mr. Sachs, may I interject before I forget?
Sure.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. I've met you before. You're a very, very nice man. With that being said, when was the development established? Do you know the original date?
Like 1990.
1990. And what year are we in now?
Yeah.
I'm not being
yeah.
disrespectful. I'm
No, I
just
understand,
curious.
but the problem
My
is-
question is this: we've already lost 4 homes. We could have lost
Sure.
several
No, I
residents, and it
understand.
shakes me to the bone
Yep.
that we're sitting here saying this development should have 1,000, but we have 500. Where is it?
It can't be.
In the
problem is
next fire, are the
system-
hydrants going to work?
The hydrants will work for 500 gallons per minute. The problem is you've got about 100-foot head difference between the bottom of the development and the upper parts. So with the hydrants at the bottom, you're going to get a higher pressure than you're going to get at the top. You've got a lot of head loss in the pipe, and you've got friction loss in the pipes because of the distance and because of the elevation. So it's all designed, it was designed for 500 gallons per minute, and that's what the system, like I said, everything is operational. It's not like we have pumps that don't function. It's not like there's equipment that's not being maintained. And we have the water storage tank will hold about 100,000 gallons, so there's sufficient water there for it. But what we want to do is look at things and evaluate how can something be done and what kind of cost, what's the balance to get something to improve that.
But what about the water that was running down Faust
Why
Road?
didn't we wait until
Because
4
that-
houses were destroyed? Why didn't we be proactive
Right.
and know that there's only
Why are we
500
saying it
gallons?
should be?
This
It
now.
needs to be.
Why did we
Not it should be, it needs to be.
It's some.
Yes.
When we rebuilt the houses.
Right, when HOA,
For 500 pounds.
This is
It's
insane.
you 500 gallons, so if you
Nobody wants to
expanded,
do
when the
anything.
developer expanded, why weren't those
why
lines
should we pay?
expanded to accommodate all of that?
That whole development was designed for that amount, not, it wasn't like it changed later.
Then why did it fail?
I'm not sure. That's
I mean,
one of
should
the
we
things
just take
want
this to the court of
So
common
my other
pleas?
com-
I
My other
mean,
question is,
what is going on?
My other
One at a
question
time.
is-
One at a time, I'm happy to answer
when was the
everybody's
last time the
questions.
hydrants inspected? When was the last inspection on the hydrants?
so that's our concern, because there's multiple residents that say that the fire hydrants don't even work. They can't
So
even-
when were they inspected last?
They get flushed every
No,
year.
no, no, when were they inspected? Back system.
That, I'm not certain on that. I
You
have-
don't know. Where can I get this record from then? The inspection reports, there gotta be some place that they're inspecting them. Inspection reports are out there. We have access to them legally. Like, does anybody know who's got them, where they at, how often?
They're not.
I'm hearing a lot of silence.
I'll be honest, I don't know.
But you're a firefighter, you don't know,
No,
okay.
I have nothing.
That's fine, you're a firefighter, I
You're on the
understand, you
board.
probably don't.
You were on
Is
the
there-
board.
I
How
just,
do you not know? You live there.
We all know people on the
Yeah,
board
and
haven't done very much
But they live
proactive
there.
stuff.
My
And wouldn't
question,
you-
sir, if you live there, you're highly educated, you care. If you lived at my address,
I do care.
we know the problem. If you were to go home and tell my wife, what would the solution be? That's all I wanna know at this point.
Right, what are
Because now
we doing
know
to
we have
change
these highly
it?
educated people.
We're
and
saying
I need
it
to
should be.
safe.
When are we saying by this date we will have this corrected?
And that's something we have scheduled a meeting to
Awesome.
look at
Thank
and to
you.
evaluate. the
Please tell
conditions
us when
to
that
see-
is.
To see
But
what.
knowing this-
Wait, let me just,
But
this could happen
wait,
tomorrow.
one at a time.
Right.
Let me finish and then we'll go to the next person. But it's something that has to be looked at and evaluated. But the thing is, for those kinds of houses, the systems now, if that was getting built today, you'd have to have 1,000 gallons per minute. The system isn't set up for that. You'd have to rip out pretty much everything and redo it. So it's not,
What about the houses that are newer? Not all the houses are built at the same time.
right, but the whole system. it was
Apparently we'll have
designed-
more pressure,
It-
so
it
sorry to
was
you guys
designed.
up top.
The only, right, and.
That's horrible. Can you imagine? Hey, honey, to your wife, we have a little bit of water to help if your house catches on fire, but you know what, sweetie, to her sister? We don't. The pipes run up, so the pressure goes down. Could you imagine saying that to someone?
No, I understand. And
I would have
like
never
said-
bought my house.
Like I
Well,
said,
that's the thing.
wait.
But that's not what we were told by the HOA.
Hold on,
Let's do one thing at a
We
time.
were told
here.
there were sufficient fire hydrants.
Yeah.
That's literally what's on my closing paper, so that's.
They are sufficient.
But they
for what
weren't
they
because there's
were.
videos of them not being able to
Well,
draw
they
water.
were. That doesn't.
You find it funny, Pat?
What
You
they
find
were
it funny?
designed for at
It's
that
not
point.
funny.
No, I'm not laughing. I'm just, listen, this place was originally supposed to be this is what I'm getting. I moved in
Sure, it feels like a
in
trailer.
2000.
Okay.
I
moved
saw
in
you
2000.
laughing.
I wasn't laughing.
And I know who else was laughing. Our kids were in scouts together. Our kids were in scouts when I was
wasn't laughing,
talking.
first of all.
Go ahead.
Nothing is funny.
All right, hold on.
No, it's actually not.
Originally-
It's very serious.
This is what I was told.
A trailer park.
Everybody settle down for a minute.
A trailer park.
We want to go through this thing in an orderly fashion. We were going to get to this point, these points that we were going to talk about. We were going to get to this when we got down further into this meeting. Okay? Does anybody have, I want to get through public comments. Okay, do we have other public comments that we need to make now?
What do you do in the appearance of a conflict of interest? Like when you give the fire company $50,000.
So,
Well, no, that was a public comment. I don't know anybody, like I said, there was a conflict of interest with the board members being all firefighters and former firefighters. And I'm not judging firefighters. I come from veterans, firefighters, and police officers.
a
I'm
lot
not
of
judging.
townships, the fire, the
Well, there,
supervisor
but
firefighters
my
also.
thing is this, there has to be a checks and balances, there has to be a goddamn person that isn't connected to them. Because we know the brotherhoods, my family's in the brotherhoods. So listen, stop, I know, sir, I respect you, but there's a brotherhood that goes police, fire, military. My family does it, from Navy SEALs to Airborne Rangers. That's what's in my blood. I'm not, but that's what's in my blood. So who's the checks and balances for you guys? If you guys are all friends. That's what I want to know. I don't care about any of the other stuff. I need to know that. That's my public comment to you, sir.
Okay.
Do I pay for you to be there?
I've been the township manager here almost 20 years, okay? And I've been involved with many boards, okay? And I can tell you that, okay, they're part of the fire company. There's no conflict of interest.
You can't say that. You
There
cannot
are
say
actions
that.
they need to take to
can't-
prove
Let
that.
me
They need to
Man, I'm
prove
not judging you.
that.
You
Let
can't
me
say,
tell you
you can't say
something.
that.
Tell me
If you
something.
look back several years back. you'll
Hold on,
find-
no. You cannot sit there and say there's no conflict of interest.
Okay, so let me just tell you.
Would you like to know the law?
I know the
It
law,
matters.
sir.
Do you really?
I know the law. If you look back years back, we have donated to the fire company when 3 township supervisors were not on the fire company.
Excuse me, the
Involved.
attorney's
That's
right
not the
here.
point.
Yeah, it is the point.
No, it's
You're the
not.
attorney, correct?
Until if they're-
Could you answer the question on conflict of interest? You are,
No conflict. Donating money to the fire company is not a conflict.
When the fire company gives money to the fire company, that is the appearance of a conflict of interest, and there is very strict regulations as to how that should be handled, and it was not done.
they're a fire company.
Every time I come in here, I have a list of laws you have broken.
Yeah,
And
but
I've
you're
been
not-
doing this
you know what
since
the first
July.
problem- Can I say
You're not a
something?
resident, you don't have a
Do you know what
right.
I do, because I know the law.
Wait,
I have
say
lawyers
something?
too.
Here's the first problem that I noticed. Not one of you sitting up here has said to Kelly or anybody in the community, we are sorry for this extravagant trauma and
That they are
tragedy
responsible for.
that we are
This is where I'm
all
gonna
taking
He
on.
said that first thing. He said how sorry he was in the township.
What about after Kelly spoke?
I don't know what was said after Kelly spoke.
I didn't like that nobody on the board said to her, we are sorry. Like, how do you
Barbara,
not
go
say
ahead.
that?
Okay, Barbara Landis, what's our address? 3414 Westview Drive. I'm also the emergency management coordinator for the township. When there's any sort of disaster or emergency in the township, I am the liaison between the township and the disaster victims.
She's also on the fire
I'm
department.
also the liaison between the county
Also runs
and the
a Facebook
disaster
page that everybody's
victims.
blocked for.
Yes, I am also a social member of the fire department. I help on their Ways and Means Committee. I have gone to every single family.
Can I ask you a
that was
question?
involved.
Are you also on the board of supervisors? And do you work for the township in any way or serve a role for them?
I volunteer,
Okay.
no.
So.
but no, I do not work
Okay.
for them. Everything I do is strictly volunteer other than my full-time job. I have reached out to every family
You
and
have.
expressed my condolences.
You have.
And checked in
You
nonstop.
have. You have.
Doing that.
Thank you.
I am doing it as a representative of the township.
I did not know that.
am
I
doing
thought
it-
you came to me differently. I did not
am
know
doing
that.
it as a representative
I don't want
of the
them.
HOA, even though I'm not part of the board. I'm also doing it as one of your neighbors.
I thought you were doing it. You led me to believe that you were coming to me
I'm
as
talking
a
about
neighbor.
after she spoke.
I did not know. You
Nobody
never
on the
said
board
that.
said
You
anything.
said you were coming to me as a neighbor.
And you've had a
You
personal
said that.
problem with me since day
And-
one,
and-
so it's
and-
very
I want to have
evident.
order at this meeting.
And that night, I expressed to all 4 families that I was there as emergency
Oh,
management.
everybody in the community has. I was speaking about the
Can
board
we get support
right
about the
now.
fire hydrants?
Okay.
I mean, can we get your support on behalf of the fire department about the fire
You
hydrants?
have the support. The
Great,
issue
awesome.
is,
Let's find a
the issue
solution.
is, the solution cannot be done in a meeting of this capacity. They have other agenda items they need to get to. They've already said.
Okay, then let them get to
her
it. Let them get to
crossing
it.
issues were further in
Let them
the
get to
agenda.
it.
So get to the agenda meetings,
God.
and then we can figure this out. Is that what we're saying? Okay. So let
We'll
them
be
finish.
quiet.
Let the man finish his thing.
Are there any other public comments? Does anybody else need a turn to speak? Okay.
I would just like to conclude. I'm leaving. I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed. I thought it was different, Bill. I thought we were family. No, I thought we were family. It wasn't funny. Did you find what I said funny, Bill?
No, I didn't laugh.
Well, it's recorded, so we will see that.
Well,
Okay. All right, public comments are over. Minutes.
Wait, we got one
Somebody's
more.
hand is up.
Go ahead. Identify yourself. and your
Austin
address.
Doherty, 1239 Pine Ridge Drive.
Thank you.
These have been addressed, but I want them on record that this was asked. How long the board was aware that the fire hydrants were not working and didn't have the capacity to provide assistance to extinguish a fire in that community. And this was answered as well. How long have they been non-functioning? It's been since day one. So this has been acceptable by the board, the township, to have these fire hydrants that are useless.
Right.
That makes no sense. And for it to be acceptable for 40 years, until 4 homes are lost. So the next fire that happens, it will be contained when four more homes are destroyed. So every fire we have in there, it's gonna take 4 homes. That's like the average.
Right.
That's sickening.
We'll wait till lives are lost, I guess, right?
Or their own.
Maybe
or
then
yours,
people will
or-
stand up.
Or it's your neighbor's house.
Maybe that'll shake people enough.
I wanna know what's gonna be done for the fire hydrants to make them work.
Ma'am?
Hi, I'm Laura Crooks. I'm a resident of 1223 Pine Ridge Drive. So I would like to know, I heard that there's supposed to be 500 gallons a minute. We've already said it, but I would like to know why there was nothing. I would also like to know what is immediately being done. If there is a fire tonight at my neighbor's, what is immediately being done to protect them? And I would also like to know what the plan is to correct this in the near future so that 1,000 gallons a minute come out of the hydrant, because I don't know where the water was. I was fortunately not home with my daughter because her room was destroyed, and if she had been asleep, I would not have my daughter today. But it took me about 30 minutes to drive from Hatfield, where I was since the power was out, to my house, and my house was still on fire, and everyone stood there, and I'm not nothing against the fire department, because I know that they were doing everything they could. But what they could do was nothing, because no water came out. And I want to know, when I drove from Hatfield to come back, why was my house still on fire? Why was this hydrant that should have at least given a trickle, given nothing? And I want to know what the plan is to save my neighbors and any future fires, because from my opinion, it sounds like the water was put in, the plans changed, and no one wanted to put the money up to fix it, and everyone just hoped there would never be a fire. My house burned down, and 3 other families' house burned down, and now everyone is saying, oh shit, we got caught. That's what it looks like to me.
That's exactly what happened. You got caught.
Mark, no more comments, please. You're not a resident.
It doesn't, that's against the law, and you know. Well, you don't know, because you don't read the law, so you don't know what the law
Not a
is.
resident.
quiet,
You're disrupting
okay.
this meeting.
Criminal negligence.
We do have a comment over here.
Go ahead.
I'm Kim Gordon. I'm at 1149 Pin Oak Drive. There has been comments stating that the reason why, I don't know, what's true and what's not. That's why I'm here. I'm here to get a resolution. Were the development supposed to be a trailer park? Because from what I was being told, from my comment on Facebook, that rose awareness of, me being concerned also as a resident of the hydrants not working. I was told that the hydrants don't work because our development was not made to be a
Housing
townhome.
community.
It's supposed to be a trailer park. Is that true?
It's not true. Thank you.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know.
He said it's not.
Go ahead, Rick.
Other, go ahead.
Again, I just wanted to note.
Well, I have a question, sir.
Okay.
The fire chief did state to me that we were supposed to have a trailer park development. And that's what he said to me.
That's what he's saying, and initially the plan was, and then it was
Okay, and like,
changed.
listen, there's no blame. We're not blaming firefighters here.
Correct.
Because that's not what we're doing.
Exactly.
And it's out of their control in certain
not
instances.
at all.
I'm upset because I posted it on the board. And I didn't know who Pat was, but he straight told me what I saw with 30 of my neighbors was wrong. And I don't understand why our fire chief is on the Facebook page telling people what they saw with their own eyes
Correct.
was wrong.
Yeah, you
So
can't.
that's
you
my
can't
issue.
do
There was
that.
no word coming out of the hydrant.
Most of us were there
There's
until
no-
3
there's no
a.m.
people- There's people recording that. There's recordings of that. So I'm concerned that my fire chief is lying to my face.
Right.
Right? And this is not a judgment, because you guys did good and we're thankful for it. But lying to my face, when there's multiple recordings of it and there's 30 people standing there. And there's people in this room that are being effing cowards that will not say they were standing there and I see your faces. Because you were standing right next to me when this happened. So I want to know why that's being said as well. That what we saw isn't what we saw. I'm 36 years old, so I don't understand that. And I feel that this man's taking the brunt of everything when it should be the board. And I don't feel that's right.
Yeah,
I don't feel it's right.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Professional, and I'm grateful for you.
You've been the
But
sweetest person.
My homeowners and my lawyer need to know who to contact to understand why they were told there was working hydrants.
And
It's
and
just
let
a
me-
deflection
Let me
on the
state,
So, I need to know that.
because the system was designed, as it was designed
Right.
and installed by the developer, was designed for 500 gallon per minute flow, okay? That's what was required.
So as more
That's what
houses
it
got
said.
added
Now,
on, right?
That included all the houses, that was based upon the
Okay.
whole development.
All 330.
330, okay.
Now,
So no,
if
we know
we
they
had
wanted
to
to
do
fit.
over again,
Right.
if I was looking at this right now and had to do over again, and I've told the supervisors, we'll make sure at any other development, because I didn't have anything at that point, these guys, nobody was involved here at that point.
Right.
But that water tank, that's at the bottom, at the lowest point of the development, should have been at the top of the development.
Are we talking about on Valley Street, to
But
be
That makes
exact?
sense,
very
but how long
high
have they known this could be an issue? How long is the
It's,
board?
the system is designed for 500 gallons, and it's supposed to do 500
but
gallons.
it
But knowing that, how long?
No, 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 no.
Okay,
I
let me
understand,
answer.
I don't live in
Let-
what ifs, I'm living in what happened. The
Let me
system
answer.
did not, the system did not
Okay.
supply water. So listen.
Let me answer, please. Okay?
You did answer.
No, but my point is that I want to make is, what we're going to do is look in to see what the flows are doing and try to find out why.
Well, why would-
Excuse me, can we hold on? I want to hear what's going on here, because
Hold
they're
on,
interrupting while you guys are
Why-
talking, and I want to know what's
So
so.
why was
we have
it,
3
like,
minutes
what
to
he's
talk.
explaining
We're gonna
makes
block the
sense,
timer.
but how long have we known this could be an issue?
Oh, another timer?
It's designed.
Fire had a
it's
timer.
supposed
They
to-
hide behind the sign.
I pay taxes, I get time.
They called the police over
Can we
last
talk
week.
one at a time, please?
Sure.
It doesn't
Where
help
are the
anybody.
police? Let's get them
Not
here.
a really tough spot.
Let's get the police here.
That's right, I'm
We
used to it.
we get
Okay?
time?
So like I said,
But you
I
pay your
understand, I
taxes.
feel the sympathy for
I would
everybody
never
dealing like this.
represent
I've been a
on a board
firefighter
like
for over
this.
20 years also. I've seen it, and where I live, we don't have hydrants, okay? But we're all trained to run tankers and run the tanker shuttle and still get the water there and make it happen.
Yeah, but there's,
I
but that failed though.
But listen, this is what I was trying to tell you. Everybody stop 1 minute and listen, okay? The system is designed for 500 gallons per minute. If it didn't project.
Joe, knock it off
If
and
it-
stop threatening people.
if
Because
it-
you're not gonna touch it, because you're gonna have to go through me, sir. So sit down and turn around.
He said
You
stop talking.
you ain't gonna go through nobody.
He said
okay?
stop
You're threatening.
talking.
You're
Hey,
threatening
guys.
him right in front of
Guys,
him.
knock it
Hold
off.
on, he's threatening. He's threatening to knock his head off. Are you kidding me?
Is there no decency?
So he's threatening to knock somebody's head off. and he's
You
allowed to
guys
sit
are
there.
okay with that?
said to me?
Did
you hear what he just said to me?
Guys, stop.
Don't
You
touch
guys
me, you know
tolerate
what?
that in a meeting?
Stop, guys. Stop. We're trying to find a bottom line.
Listen,
Can I get some
listen, we're all
answers from
adults,
people?
okay? We don't need to be threatening, we don't need to be touching. There's an issue and we need to resolve it,
Great.
Yes.
okay?
you threatened
So
by
can
him?
we just
Why
try
is
to
why
talk?
is he not removed for making threats to hurt someone? I'm just asking,
About
sir.
what?
It's on
He's
record
right.
right there.
He walks across the street and harasses my wife.
Okay, well, please, okay, we're talking about people who lost 4 houses.
Okay.
Whatever
Can I
wife,
answer
please
you?
go outside if you wanna talk about that.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought that's what
If
everybody.
you guys have a
Okay.
private thing, please go
So if I
outside,
get
because we
everybody
are
else
meeting,
to
something
stop
is going
talking
on.
for 1 second,
It's
please.
very important to us.
Okay, guys.
Let's do it one at a
So what
time.
we need to do is, if it didn't produce 500 gallons per minute, we need to determine why not. We need to get to the bottom of that, and we need to rectify, and that's what the township's plans to do. And that's where we're going to move forward, to evaluate that, get answers, and correct what the issue is. But the system is designed for 500 gallons per minute, and it should do that. Now, with the townhouse development, it's 500 gallons per minute isn't a whole lot of water. Any of the other firefighters, anybody else will tell you. But that's what the design is, okay?
But what
And as
about
I've said,
tonight?
throughout the whole area out here, like I said, I live in Upper Salford, we only had 2 hydrants at 1 shopping center. But we're all trained to do the drafting from streams, ponds, swimming pools, whatever else, and get it there. And you have to remember, every one of these guys is a volunteer, okay? If anybody's not happy with their fire service, I'm sure they have membership applications available.
Stop.
We are thankful, we talk about how great they were,
No,
and you as
One
well.
at a time.
No one makes their job easier. They're volunteering.
Nobody's
Make it easier. It's
Right.
safer.
Nobody's
What
attacking
about
them. All I'm
tonight?
saying
If a
is,
fire started
One at a
tonight,
time,
no,
guys.
no,
Like you
all I'm
said, you're
saying,
adults.
sir, is this. I was present right there. Before any firefighters got there, I was there.
It was quiet.
Okay, it was very quiet. It was 30 minutes before water got in the house. I'm not blaming anybody here. Because if they couldn't tap the water, that's not their freaking fault.
Right.
But I know what I saw, and so did everybody else.
Yeah.
When this guy yelled, there's no effing water, get the F away from us, and got the tanker out of there because he couldn't tap the fire hydrant to get water out of it. So I don't want to hear what we're going to do. What I want to know is this. If this is a known issue, because there was
It's
multiple
not a known
no, there was
issue.
multiple
It's
comments.
supposed to be, the system is supposed to work.
Right, but it didn't
Everything
work.
is functional.
But it didn't
I
work.
but how do you
understand.
go
But when your
40
car
years
breaks
it's supposed to work?
It does
We
work.
showed that it does not work.
When they tested
The
it,
evidence
wasn't
is
it
there.
that-
Listen, it's kind of like with your car. We've got to check and we've got to find out what the issue is.
I mean, why do the snowplows
I mean,
build
we can't-
20